Toad gives birth to babies on its back. Suriname toads are an unusual amphibian species with strange ways to protect their young ones. First of all, these toads give birth to their multiple offspring through tiny openings on their back, all at the same time. Once the eggs are fertile, the female Suriname toad embeds all of them to the skin of her back to make sure nothing harms them. This female toad is now giving birth to her embryos that are all old enough to hatch. The small toads simply come out of the openings on her skin, of her back, and after that, the mother's ready to shed the damaged skin, starting the process all over again. Orangutans building nests for their young ones. A lot of people have the misconceptions that orangutans aren't the smartest of animals. These animals are the exact opposite of that. Orangutans are extremely smart, especially when it comes to protecting their offspring. Male orangutans play no part in raising their babies, so it's only the moms that are looking out for their kids, carrying them around from one place to the other, teaching them how to survive out in the wild, and to make sure that her young stay safe from all kinds of predators. This mother orangutan is seen making a new nest for her baby to sleep soundly in. A task that she does every night while also never letting the baby out of her sight. A huge part of how orangutans protect their babies is that they start teaching them how to survive out in the wild from a young age, which is exactly what this mom is doing by making her baby climb trees and help her build their nest. Mother meerkat schools her babies. When protecting your child isn't enough, mother meerkats turn to become teachers for their young ones so they can protect and fend for themselves in her absence. These animals primarily feed on venomous scorpions, but learning how to hunt down these deadly creatures isn't easy, which is where moms step in. This young meerkat right here is seen hunting along with its mom, who's patiently helping her baby through the process. While the baby meerkat runs after the scorpion, the mother is the one actually jabbing and lunging at the insect to injure it, making it easy for her baby to grab the insect and feed on it. This is how meerkats train their offspring to hunt, eventually helping them develop the skill to go out and do it all on their own. Orcas together forever. Orcas, also known as the killer whales, are some of the deadliest fish in the ocean, with the ability to make a meal out of any creature within their reach. The reason why orcas are so deadly is that they stay in groups called pods, where female orcas spend their entire lives with their mothers, and males go off to mate but return back to the family once that's over. The reason this close-knit group of orcas right here band together is that it helps them scare off any predators that might try to harm the vulnerable members of their clan, especially the newborns. At the same time, when they are large in numbers, it's easier for orcas to prey on other animals when they're hunting for food.
Hi, little one. Well, that feels pretty soft, right? It's called a pillow. Ah, here comes Mom. Yep, it's that time. We're Huggies, and we put hundreds of pillows inside this nappy so it's absorbent and soft on your sensitive skin. When Mom makes that face, that's your cue to laugh. She's such a comedian. Here's the deal. You keep filling nappies, you keep getting tickles. Huggies, we got you, baby.
Na-reflect yun ng punto sa inyo.
Ano?
Nag-relate na. Actually yata, China kaya punta. Ako,
Dolphins calling out for their young ones. Bottlenose dolphins have a strange way of making sure that their babies don't get lost in the depths of the ocean. Born with already mature enough years, both bottlenose know exactly how to look for their mothers in case they lose track of them. Because dolphins swim at extremely fast speeds, they start training their babies to keep up with them from the minute they're born. The mother bottlenose has a specific call from her babies, which they can track and trace her down. You can hear this bottlenose right here, using her calls to create a path for her offspring to follow, which they then do so without any more effort on the mother's part. Rabbit hides her babies. Out of all the protective animal mothers out in the wild, rabbit moms might look like the care of the least. They have a reputation for leaving their young ones behind for almost the entire day, returning back only once and twice to feed them. But here's the thing, rabbit moms love their babies. Rabbit moms leave their babies alone for their own protection. This rabbit right here is seen digging out her babies from underneath all that soil. And while that might look scary, the truth is that rabbits usually hide their babies this way, by burying them under the ground to make sure that no predator can smell or hear them. As long as their babies aren't strong enough to fend on their own, the mother will keep them hidden and will stay away from them as much as she can to lure all kinds of predators away. Alright, now on to our subscriber pick of the day. Turns out that the monkey's main way of protecting their young is by living in large social groups known as troops. After all, the more eyes you have, the better you can spot predators creeping in on your territory. And they don't call them troops for nothing. Check out this tough troop of baboons taking on a crocodile in its own turf. The crocodile grabbed hold of a single monkey, and the whole troop came roaring in, beating down on the big old bad lizard until their companion was freed. When a wildcat comes around, the group of them run the same gameplay. The monkeys start yelling in a choir so as to sound the alarm, and the first ones to get handed off to safety are their babies. Think Titanic sinking while the men start stuffing women and children into the rescue boats first. Except it's the young monkeys being handed off to the females in rescue trees, not boats, where they're safe from predators. In an emergency, their social groups function not too different from us humans, so it totally makes sense we evolved from these primates. Most protective animal moms on the planet. Not only are elephants some of the strongest animals in the world, but female elephants also make for some pretty great moms, with how protective they are for their babies. Firstly, female elephants have the longest gestation period, around 22 months, compared to any other mammal species. Then their mother instincts are tested after their babies are born. Why? That's because elephant babies are born nearly blind, relying on their mothers for everything. So, to make sure that their babies are always protected, this herd of elephants comes together and travels in circles with their youngest members on the inside, protected from all kinds of predators. The baby is seen walking right in the middle of all these giant elephants, who are there to make sure that no harm comes to them. And because elephants are such communal animals, if a young one from their clan is orphaned, The rest of the herd adopts and raises them as their own, making these animals some of the most compassionate creatures out in the wild. Emperor penguins walk 50 miles for their babies. Penguin moms might not look all that tough, but they'll go the extra mile for their babies. Literally. After laying eggs, emperor penguin moms walk as far as 50 miles to the ocean to catch fish to feed it to their newborns. During all of this, the male penguins, right here, make sure to keep the baby warm, and once their mother returns, she takes over her duties once again, tucking the chick close to protect her from the deadly cold. An exposure of as little as 2 minutes is enough to kill a baby penguin, which is why it's important for both the parents to always be on their guards about protecting their offspring, because penguin mothers only lay 1 egg a year. Protecting their babies is more important to them than anything else, which is why they fight starvation, freezing weather, and deadly prey to keep their babies safe until they've grown into adults. Octopus mom, starving herself for her babies. Most mothers only have to raise 1 baby at a time, but octopus moms have to take care of up to 200,000 with all the eggs that they lay in a single go. And with so many young ones comes a lot of sacrifice on the mother's part. So to make sure that her babies receive enough oxygen to keep them safe from algae and bacteria attacks, this octopus mom finds an empty spot in the ocean where she settles down. The octopus makes sure to find a spot that's out of reach of all kinds of predators because she's going to be here for a long time now. That's right, the mom then does not leave her baby's side for a single second, not even to hunt for food. In fact, octopus moms have been observed to eat their own tentacles rather than leave their eggs unprotected out in the ocean. What's even sadder is that the eggs often hatch and float away, but by then, the mother either dies of starvation or is too weak to defend itself against any predators, making octopus moms some of the most sacrificing mothers in the wild. Tarantula hawks kill spiders to protect their babies. Tarantula hawks are some of the deadliest insects in the world because once they decide to lay eggs, they will do anything to ensure their safety. One of the ways in which these wasps protect their young ones is by paralyzing spiders and laying their larvae inside their bodies. The entire process is super fascinating to witness. Right here, a tarantula hawk is seen attacking a huge spider to lay its larvae inside the insect's living body. At this point, the spider's still alive, allowing the young tarantula hawks to feed off their living body until they've grown up enough to go out into the world on their own. Koalas feeding their babies unusual diets. Female koalas are some of the most protective animal mothers in the wild. Not only do they have the ability to turn aggressive when their babies are in danger, but they're also smart enough to know exactly what their young ones need and when. These animals take their maternal duties extremely seriously, especially when it comes to building up their baby's resistance. Koalas feed on eucalyptus leaves as their primary source of nutrition. Now these leaves are incredibly poisonous, but koalas' bowels are lined with special bacteria, making it safe for the animals to easily digest them. However, their babies aren't born with this bacteria and have to develop them on their own. But how do they do that? You can see this koala right here eating its mother's feces. And why you think that this is typical animal behavior? The truth is that mother koalas, like this one right here, have to chew their own feces and then feed it to their joeys to help them develop the bacteria that they need to digest their food. If you thought eating vegetables was bad, imagine eating this. Mouth-brooding fish stop eating to keep babies alive. Mouth-brooding fish include catfish, cardinalfish, pikeheads, cichlids, and jawfishes, along with many others. The reason why they get their name is the fact that they protect their eggs by keeping them inside their mouth, where they can always carry them around with no fear. As soon as their eggs are fertilized, mother mouth-brooding fish stop eating entirely to make sure that they don't accidentally swallow their eggs. And even after the babies are hatched, they stay inside their mother's mouth for protection until they're strong enough to go out on their own. Here you can see a cichlid suck in an entire host of young fishes into her mouth. And while it might look like she's feeding on them, in reality, the fish is only taking her babies inside her mouth to protect them from all the dangers on the outside. The mother then spits the babies out when it's safe, repeating the process over and over again until they're old enough to protect themselves. Alright, comment below which of these animal defense mechanisms impressed you the most. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Forever Green, and hit that bell icon for more. We'll see you in the next one.
Ingat. Tingnan mo nga, pintana. Uy, nilabot. Ha? Pintana? Bakit?